up, friends? Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Jobu, and as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Jobu Sports Report, because without you guys, well, this certainly wouldn't be much fun. So, here we are, 2 days away from the Hall of Fame game. The only news we have is that Tyron Smith, his back is flaring up a little bit, and they're going to be taking it easy on him. The team doesn't seem to think that it's anything major, but it's one of those things that he flared up last year a couple of times, and you have to wonder, how is that back? Is he getting a little long in the tooth? How long does he have? Here's the thing about football. You don't want to waste a season, any season. You don't know who is going to be a great player one year and gone the next. Because in football, your career can hinge on one play. It can all be over with. So hopefully, Tyron Smith, it's nothing bad, but you have to have the mentality of, we're going to win this year, every year. Because if you don't, you may squander opportunities. Take a look at Dan Marino. Early in his career, had success, went to a Super Bowl. Figured that guy was going to go back to multiple Super Bowls. However, never made it back. Had a great career, but he never got that ring. So you got to be focused on, we're not going to lose. We're going to do everything in our power to win. So that brings you back to Jason Garrett. Interestingly enough, Stephen A. Smith went off on Jason Garrett and basically said he's a puppet. And it was kind of interesting because more and more that I watch Stephen A. Smith, I realize that he is, in fact, a closet Cowboy fan. He defended Zeke yesterday. Today he's unloading on Jason Garrett, about being mediocre. It's kind of interesting. But the thing that really got underneath my skin today is how everybody all of a sudden believes that the New York Giants are the team to beat in the division. Let's go to NFL Network and listen to Steve Mariucci and the guys.
NFC East, here's how it rounded out last year with the Dallas Cowboys on top. They, of course, lost in the divisional round to the Green Bay Packers. The Giants, who beat the Cowboys twice last year, they made the playoffs as the wild card, and then the Redskins and the Eagles coming in last. All right, let's welcome back Mooch and DJ as we ask you guys, who is the biggest threat this year to the Cowboys in the NFC East?
Well, Amber, I'm not sure the Cowboys are as good as they were last year. You lose a couple offensive linemen, and you lose some of that secondary, and all of a sudden, I think you take maybe a step back. Now, they had 13 wins. They're still the team to beat. But I think both the Eagles and the Giants got much better. Remember last year with the...
Okay, so here are my points of contention here. True. It's a fact. The Dallas Cowboys lost 2 offensive linemen. But you can't say that Doug Free was exactly a Pro Bowl player. It wasn't like we lost Tyron Smith. Doug Free was a shell of himself as far as play on the field. Great in the locker room. He was a leader. But his body was failing him. He could not set the edge anymore, and speed pass rushers were blowing past him. He was holding. He was offsides. We'd have 30-yard plays that were called back because he was holding. Or a couple of the fumbles that Dak had were because his guy basically came through free, no pun intended, and was able to swat the ball. So yes, we did lose 2 offensive linemen, but I dare say Ron Leary was the backup for Collins going into the season till Collins got hurt. So you're not really losing anything. And I think putting him back at tackle, his natural position, he's going to be a beast. So when you say that our offensive line lost a lot, I don't think our offensive line lost a lot. In fact, I will guarantee that this offensive line is going to be even better this year. It's going to be more athletic than it was last year, if that's possible. Now let's go back to where they talk about we lost cornerbacks. True, we did lose cornerbacks, but I can't say that we had game changers, at least not game changers in our favor. cornerbacks. You know, they'll say, oh, first-round pick, Morris Claiborne. Yeah, we gave up a first-round pick and a second round for him, but he never lived up to that. Half of his career he spent on the bench because he was always injured. He only played the first 7 games of the season. So I ask you, what did we lose losing Morris Claiborne? Seriously. Brandon Carr, great guy off the field, great guy in the locker room, never had a negative headline about him, nothing. But Brandon Carr, he was not an elite cornerback anymore. He was getting older and never really got a whole lot of picks. Can't say that that is a major loss. I believe he was ranked 48th or 49th in cornerbacks in the NFL. Not exactly, cream of the crop. So as you guys keep putting, oh, well, they lost this, they lost that, I look at these young guys. They're going to make mistakes. But I guarantee you they're going to make mistakes at full speed. They're going to be guys that are going to be out there flying around to the ball. And dare I say, guys that have a nose for the football. You can see it in training camp right now, how these guys move, how athletic they are, how fast they are, their jumping ability, and how they're getting to the ball. I dare say that I think that defense will improve. I think our pass rush with some of the guys that we have, even though we do have some early suspensions, I think our defense will be okay. So, Mooch, when you say that the Giants are going to be so much better and going to win the division, I look at Eli Manning, that turnover machine that he's become, the lack of a running game, and that offensive line that still is not very good. That offense, I believe 28th in the NFL last year, even with Brandon Marshall. How many wide receivers can you have without a running game and an offensive line? Because that offensive line is not going to give Eli Manning a whole lot of time to get downfield. But hey, what do I know? I'm a guy with a day job and a voodoo doll. So, guys, Thursday, we've got the Hall of Fame game coming up. I know the starters won't be playing, but it doesn't matter. I'm happy that our young guys are going to get a little bit extra time, a little bit extra work in, because they need all that they can get, because they're going to be playing important roles for our Dallas Cowboys. Now, I'll be live streaming a little bit before the game, and post-game, we're going to have Law Nation in the house, and we're going to be getting ready for next week, where we head to California, and Oxnard will be there Thursday and Friday at practice covering it, and we'll be covering the Rams game in L.A. So as always, friends, I'm Mark Holmes. This is Cowboy Jobu, and thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Jobu Sports Report. And I will see you guys with any breaking news on the Cowboys. I'll see you soon. Fans, Cowboy Jobu here, and as you can see, we're doing a little special team work out there right now. It's a nice, beautiful day. Fans are here. Everybody's having a great time. Back to you in the studio.